Predator Bay went live. We saw the aquascape, we added the sharks, and since then everything has gone perfectly, is what I wish I could say. But in reality, sharks do what sharks do. Let me take you in and give you a closer look at the first week in the new Predator Bay 3000. Okay, where do we start? Let's start over here on the left-hand side. So, you know, I built this aquascape and I'm thinking, this is totally shark-proof. I've done it. I'm a genius. This will hold up to anything. And these guys right here said, hold my beer. So they proceeded to do what sharks do and probe for any weaknesses and, of course, knock down anything they can. All day long, they're saints, but as soon as nighttime comes, these goofballs, they start their work. So let's start over here. Yes, that is our internal water movement knocked down, and yes, it has blown all the sand, and yes, that is a shark sitting right in front of it, just enjoying having the water blowing right out of that nozzle right into his face. So that's one thing. That's not the first time they knocked it down. They essentially knocked it down every day on this side, and they did not do it at all on the other side. So I have a fix for that. I am going to strap it and lock it into the top so they can't move that. That's an easy fix, and I'll of course do it to both. So the next thing is knocking some rocks over. That was fully expected. Or actually, let me go back. I need to move a giant pile of sand that's over there and spread it back out. But then I need to do a little cleanup on the rocks here, get everything pushed in really hard, really tight, just, you know, shark-proof as best I can. Again, that was expected. I expected to move a few rocks around, no problem. I didn't expect that they would knock the rock that I had sideways in there and want to jam themselves in that awkward position to sleep. So I got a little work to do under there, so that's basically a big flat rock there they pushed out, and in fact you can even see the lovely sand being blown around by the water flow. Gotta love the sharks. So no problem with fixing that, and for the most part on this side of the scape there's just a little cleanup on the edge and a little cleanup on the edge over here, and that's no problem. The middle part is all good, so you know, some damage for sure, some modifications to make for sure, but looking pretty good on the left side. We come over to the right side, and I guess here they've just knocked off a few small pieces, which is no big deal, but I want to make some changes here. When I originally thought about doing this really large piece of reef work here, I didn't really have the middle part in the plan, and now that this comes out some, I want to make this gap bigger. Now we're not talking like the sharks have plenty of room. This is all wider inside than it looks through the glass. They swim through no problem. These types of sharks can go in very tight crevices. Nothing with that. It's more just the comfort of the eye sort of look, and I think it's one of those less is more, a little more open is actually going to look better. So what I'm going to do on this side is I'm going to cut and take out one of the milk crates, which will shorten this up and get a bigger space here, and then of course redistribute all the rocks. Coming over here, I'll fix what needs to be fixed, but also I'm going to use some of those rocks to tighten this up, so it'll be rock down the side. It just won't stick out as far, which will create a bigger opening over here. Same thing, it's just a visual thing. So, and of course, even though they never knocked this one down, I'll strap up that water flow, internal water flow pipe, so that they can't do it. So that will be happening in this video. We will take another shot at shark proofing the aquascape, and we'll just keep making small improvements to it over time until we get it dialed in. So yes, your eyes are not deceiving you. I have procured more of these plants. Turns out Lowe's has these guys for the same cheap price as Home Depot, so I'm building up quite a collection here because I have a lot of places to use them. So let's go over here to the 1200 gallon. I've got this all pumped out over here so I can get in there. We'll make that little modification to seal up that little area we found at the top, and we'll get the riverbank system put in. And now what I can't believe, you guys forgot to remind me to water test the filter box. You know, I forget things all the time. I depend on you guys to see this stuff and correct me and tell me in the comments. But fortunately, I thought about it, and it's been testing for a week, and it is all good. So we can finally get to, like I said, the riverbank, which is just painting up these 2x2s here. Some of the other pieces that'll be part of it are already painted up. But it's time to start thinking about an aquascape here. So, you know, we have a 4-foot tall tank, so we want to really utilize all that height. So what I've done is I've ordered some very large, they're not substrate bags, they're actually meant for like laundry, but they're basically large mesh bags that I'm gonna put a bunch of lava rock in to help build up the scaping area. So it's still gonna be the Amazonian Islands theme, so we'll have some big clusters of structure with some open areas in between, and then of course with all those geos we want to have a ton of sand there in the front, and then we're gonna have our riverbank coming out of the top, which is plants coming out of the top, plants over here in the filter. And then internally, we're gonna do a whole bunch of things. So we're gonna have some internal plants that are gonna be able to hold up to the bigger community cichlids, and we're also gonna have some woodwork and rockwork. But we'll go ahead and we'll do that in a video, so you'll just see the scape come together. We'll get it all lit up nice. I'll get in there and we'll scape this one together. But so that's coming. So the 1,200 gallon is coming real soon. We've got the fix going in there, and we successfully tested here, so there's no impediments. Just a matter of doing the scape, putting in the framing for the riverbank, and firing this bad boy up. So I was thinking the other day, I was just looking at the fish swimming around in the 4,500 gallon, and I was like, you know what? Now that there's the new 12,000 gallon coming to the annex or the new annex or whatever, and we know we have the Severum and the true parrots going in to the 4,500 here, because I'm not going to put back in here the giant peacock bass and like the giant rays and the giant catfish. So since I don't have that limitation anymore, I'm thinking this tank needs some more Oscars. I don't think 5 Oscars is enough for a 33-foot long 4,500 gallon tank. And if I do any other peacock bass, maybe some kelberries. So I think maybe some kelberries and some other Oscars would be a great addition to go in here with the true parrot cichlids, the Severum, and a group of fish that I'm growing out for this tank that are near and dear to my heart. And I'll give you a hint, a lot of people don't think they're South American fish, Amazonian fish, but they are. And I can't wait to add them in here as well. So this is a 750 where we're going to be moving these giant Severum and true parrot cichlids over to the 4,500 gallon. Of course, we're going to move these big angelfish into a temporary tank, because they'll be going in to the 1,200 gallon Amazon Community Aquarium with that other giant school of angels. But the first step is to drain down this 750 gallon and get up top and remove some of those lights and things out of the way, because all this wood root you see suspended all the way around the top there, it's sort of bolted into the frame of the tank up there. So I need to take all of that out and then drain it down, and then we can start moving these guys over to their new 4,500 gallon home and future 1,200 gallon home. And of course, start the process of turning this into a 750 gallon African Malawi cichlid aquarium. So another much smaller project we're going to be working on is the 220 discus aquarium. So obviously, as you can tell, everyone is good to go. Everyone is back from being sick that one time. Healthy, happy, active, everyone doing awesome. But what we found out is we didn't have enough light for the water lettuce that we put on top. As cool as that looked, had that filtered lighting and all the roots coming down, I really did love that, but I don't want to switch out my lights. I want to keep using these lights on this tank, so I'm just going to change this tank to match the equipment that I have. So we also know that this tank looked awesome when all the plants, the submerged plants, were all grown in thick. And as you can tell, because of all the filtered lighting from the water lettuce, they've really kind of shrunk down, died back, whatever. So what we're going to do is we're going to start growing those back up, as well as adding a bunch of new plants in here. So So what I have done is I've decreased the water flow. I don't have this giant gyre going anymore, and it's been running like this for a while, for probably about 6 weeks, and no adverse effects or anything. So, and in fact, I think these guys like it better. They're much more distributed about the aquarium where they go, as before they sort of went to certain areas. I don't think they were really appreciating as much flow as I was giving them. So what that's going to allow us to do is add some cool plants to this tank. And of course, I think everybody, myself included, loves the way Kessels create that awesome shimmer. So we have the diffuse lighting was cool, the roots were cool, but the shimmer is cool, and having this tank fully planted up is also cool. And this is an easier tank for me to manage with submerged plants, with any sort of trimming or pruning or dosing and everything like that. So it makes sense to do it here. And I can think of a few other tanks where the diffuse lighting with the water lettuce on top could be the perfect match, especially because it'll have much more powerful lighting on it and a much more custom lighting setup like I do on my big DIY tanks. So as you know, aquascaping the 3,000 gallon requires getting inside the 3,000 gallon. So we've got the fronts off, and I'm getting ready to move the tops away. We've got the ladder and the towels. We got some tools to move the sand, some straps for the internal filter over there, and again over here, some straps and some scissors ready to go. So it's time for me to turn off the water flow, the internal water flow, hop in there and get to work. And hopefully these guys right here stay out of my way. Okay, we have the 3,000 all buttoned up again, and all the work is done, and I can't believe these guys are sitting in there like that, looking like, oh, we're just a couple angels. The whole time I was walking around in there doing the work, they were just bothering me, swimming, well, in between my legs, bumping into me, swimming up my leg, which always feels weird with their skin. And then as soon as I'm done, they're like, okay, we're gonna go back to sleeping. So, unbelievable. All right, let's see, where do we do? So on the right hand side here, the big piece, you can see we took out a milk crate, and we have a much larger opening there. And then we've gone ahead and rocked that in. We curve this around a little bit here. And I don't know if you can, let me see if I can zoom in. There are 3 straps that are connecting that pipe to up above, so it's not going to go anywhere. And then if we walk 20 feet down this way, we got all the sand. There was a giant mound of sand over there. We got it raked all the way across evenly, and we're covering up that area. And we also, this is probably a better view of the straps. You can see we've got the 3 straps there strapping the water flow in, so that shouldn't move. And then we tightened up the scape. We got that inside blocked off, and just anywhere that could be pushed in tighter, moved around a little bit better, has been done. So we're back to 1, 2, 3 big channel ways. Cave in the front, or the cave in the middle. There's a cave in the back over there. We've got the cave here. We got a lot of big area in the back. And then as we come across to the other side, we've now got this big channel, of course the cave, and the smaller channel over there. Big spot in the back, big spot in the middle, and in the front here too. So, okay, so this is attempt number 2 at making the ultimate Predator Bay 3000 Sharkscape. So hopefully this one holds up. And I fed these guys last night specifically because I didn't want them getting all interested in what I was doing and, bothering me the whole time. And I guess I didn't feed them enough because it didn't work. So it's been a day since we made the changes to the aquascape in 3,000 gallons. See, the water is all nice and clear again. And looks like both these guys are over here. Hey, nice of you to come out and say hello to the camera. So I was just getting ready to say, well, and there's shark number 2. At any rate, I was just going to say, it'd be cool to see them swimming around and see what they think of the new scape, and there we go. They're swimming around. Awesome. So you can see, obviously, no problems getting around. I like that bigger spot there in the middle. That is pretty nice. And same thing over here. That bigger spot there. Always giving the grouper the business. He's like, living with these sharks. But yeah, definitely easy for them to get around, and they're swimming fast again. You can tell they've got the whole thing mapped out like their old home, and they are cruising fast, able to make all those tight turns up and over, up and around. So super awesome. I can't keep track of them. Must be over on the other side. See if we can catch them both over here. No? Where the heck did the other one go? Where does something that size disappear to? Oh, in the back there I see a tail. Okay. So we've got one still cruising and one's back to snoozing. Oh, that is actually something that's very cool, is they can do that entire run across the back of the aquarium. Basically, where he's going right now, well, no, he turned back to the front, but when he takes that other route, he could go 21.5 feet straight shot, like where that guy just came from. Well, they just ran into each other. But yeah, when he goes that way, if he chooses to take the back route, which he didn't, he could have gone all the way across. But here we go. He's got the speed. He's going. And yep, all the way. Oh, he went into the grouper's cave. So that is also something cool. They can go right through that cave too. As big as they are, they're very flexible. I know the grouper doesn't appreciate that, but he has a new cave. So if we come back over here, where we took off one of the crates, there is an entryway right over here on the side that the grouper can go in, and the grouper go from the top, when these guys shouldn't be able to bother them. So, but the grouper does like this middle cave as well. So, at any rate, it's been a day and nothing's knocked over, and these guys are obviously cruising the tank and enjoying themselves. So far so good. They were definitely well-needed changes. The tank is better off for it. So, like they say, pay attention to your fish. Listen to your fish. So they're definitely letting me know that the original scape wasn't good enough. So we made it better, and now they're happy, and actually I'm happier too. So thank you for knocking down my first scape. I appreciate it. You goofballs. All right. I need to get back over there to working on moving everything out of the 750 into their new homes. Okay, with 600 gallons or so of water removed from the 750, now I can actually start the hard part, which is getting inside there and removing all of this wood and rock and plant material, and of course catching all the fish that are in here. We have the Severum, the True Parrots going over to the 4,500 gallon, some community fish. We'll probably go over to the 220 discus, and of course we have some angels that'll end up in the 1,200 gallon. But this 750 gallon rebuild into the Lake Malawi aquarium isn't the only tank we're working on right now. So we're going to work on this more in the next video, but let me show you what else we're going to be working on as well. So like I mentioned, we're going to be adding the new fish over here to the 4,500 gallon, and we're going to start full bore scaping on the 1,200 gallon. We've got the mesh bags I was talking about, the filter box is held, and so it is time to get the riverbank installed and start scaping this monster 10 foot long by 4 foot tall by 4 foot wide tank. I have a lot of material right out that door there, lots of wood I've collected, lots of rocks, so we're getting ready to go crazy on Escape here. And I guess the one thing I can say about it is Escape is going to take advantage of the height of the aquarium. So it's going to be an interesting one. And I haven't forgotten about the 2,000 gallon lagoon aquarium. Now that the sharks are all buttoned up and everything is good, it is time to turn this into a giant community aquarium. Marine community aquarium, specifically a lagoon reef aquarium. So this is going to be reef and community fish. So this is obviously a monster undertaking, but we'll be starting this build as well. So that's everything that's in this 265 in wall, the 600 gallon reef slope, and what's left of the 700 gallon refugium going into that 2,000 gallon lagoon aquarium. So that's a whole lot of big aquariums that are getting either scaped or rescaped. So I think we got our hands full for a couple of videos. So I'm basically going to dive into all of these. We'll film it all and we'll see the progress as all these new tanks come online. And then of course, that's going to open up the 125, the 265 in wall, the 600 and the 700 lagoon, or I'm sorry, refugium. So we're going to have to do all those too. So it's like I said, it's a chain reaction. Once Predator Bay 3000 went online, it started the chain reaction and we're in the middle of it. So enjoy the ride.